All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to the first full week of 2025. Couldn't be more excited to kick this week off with you guys as we jump into 2025. Hey, big shout out to these agents for just having a huge week last week, even with it being a holiday week. So I know we're all coming off the holiday vibes, but I wanted to give these agents a big shout out because even amongst New Year's, the bad weather we're getting, everything like that, they went big and found themselves at the top of the leaderboard. So big shout out to Jenna, Jody, Savannah, Dougie Fresh. Happy birthday to you, Doug. I saw it was your birthday over the weekend. Aaron, Julie, you guys crushed it. Big shout out to Julie for taking home Agent of the Week last week. So super proud of you, Julie, for getting out there, getting after it, and just kicking off the new year with a bang. So hopefully on today's call, we won't get kicked off of here like we did on Friday. But if you guys haven't had a chance yet, go back and listen to the call. Go back and listen to the call from Hope and the one from Doug from last week. They dropped a lot of great tips for you guys going into this year. So big shout out to them for joining me on the calls last week. And guys, jumping into today, we're going to talk about running to a 20K month. So how would you like to start off this month of January with over a $20,000 production month? Okay, so much goes into this, but it's so simple when you think about it. So I'm going to give you guys the roadmap on today's call on how to unlock a 20K plus month. If you've already hit it like so many of you have, okay, push it to 30, push it to 40. But as we jumpstart this year, let's all run to have a 20K individual production month for the month of January. So we're going to jump into that. But without further ado, all right, let's dive into the verse for this week, really the verse of the day. Okay, and this was a perfect one jumping into this week, but it's Matthew 19:26. It says, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So I love when the verse came straight from Jesus in the Bible, and that's what he looked and said. And guys, as you run towards this week, towards this month, towards this week, towards your goals for this year, you might have huge ones, right? You might feel like maybe it's a stretch. Maybe it's not possible. Maybe you don't have the capability to do it. All right. But think about this verse as you run towards your goals for this week and for this month and for this year, because everything is possible for the one that believes, right? And with God, there's no limit. Okay. You serve a limitless God that wants you to succeed, wants you to be prosperous, and wants you to hit a new level this year. So keep this verse fresh in your mind, all right, as you guys enter this week. So running to a 20K month. Before we jump into that, unfortunately, we had to cancel the holiday party that was scheduled for this weekend. It was a big bummer, but with the weather we're supposed to get, probably was looking like a lot of you guys weren't going to be able to attend with traveling. And so we're going to reschedule that. Alicia is on top of all of that. So be on the lookout for a new Evite for the holiday party. But unfortunately, we had to reschedule it for this weekend due to the storm that's coming in to North Carolina. All right. It's so funny growing up in New York. All right. I know some of you Northerners with me on this call, you can relate. We would get a foot, 2 feet of snow, and it was like an everyday thing, right? Everybody went to work, everybody went to school. But down here in North Carolina, if you even think that there's snow coming, all right, and it might just be a little tiny centimeter of snow, everything gets closed down. Schools get shut down for a week, all right? All the event spaces get closed, restaurants get closed. Basically, you go into a state of emergency, all right, in North Carolina if there's any hit of snow. And that's what we've got for this week. So holiday party will be getting rescheduled, but we're still going to, we'll have it soon. All right. So Alicia's going to post the details for that for you guys. So keep that in mind if you were planning to attend this weekend. Let's talk about running to a 20K month. This is a good old picture of Forrest Gump as he was running, and he just kept on running. If you ever seen the movie, all right, you'll notice he just ran and ran and ran. And that's what you're going to feel like this month if you're going to run towards 20K. So what is a 20K month? All right, think about that, guys. That's $5,000 a week of issued paid production. So $1,000 a day of good production, right? That means it's approved, it's in place, draft went through, all that good stuff. A lot goes into that. All right. So how do you achieve 5K a week of just solid AP? It's approved, it's ready to go. How do you deposit that? Right. That's what I'm going to give you guys the roadmap for as we jump into this call. So be ready to take some notes. But number one, all right, I want you guys to think about this: activity over emotion. If you're running for a 20K month, it's all about your action. It has nothing to do with what you feel like. It has nothing to do with how knowledgeable you are as an agent. It has nothing to do with anything other than activity. All right. I don't care if you're brand new, this is your very first week in the field. All right. Or if you've been an agent for 9 years, I like Hope has been hitting her 9-year anniversary. This business is all activity. Everything that you do, all right, is activity based. If you put in the work, you're going to get the result. Plain and simple. Doesn't matter how new you are, how old you are. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you're a guy, if you're a girl, if you're young, if you're old. Doesn't matter. All right. If you put in the activity, you're going to get the result. You're going to hit a 20K month, but it's activity over emotion. Okay. If you guys follow this roadmap, all right, you can't wake up and feel like, oh, I'm just got the sniffles today. I can't go out. Right. Oh, yesterday was a tough day. I'm going to work on my back office today. Right. Or, whatever. This client canceled. Let me go do that. Whatever it is. Right. All of the emotional things you have to throw away and focus on the activity to hit a 20K month. So let's dive into the roadmap. Okay, guys, you need consistency in just 3 things. That's it. All right. If you want to hit a 20K month, you only have to do 3 things consistently every single day. All right. What are those things? Okay. Number 1 is your approach. Whether you're on the phone, whether you're doing the door knocking, it doesn't matter. What matters is your approach the same at every door? Is your approach the same with every person who picks up that phone? Do you have a script? Do you know the script? All right. And what does that script sound like? So, guys, think about it. If you do the same approach day in, day out, house in, house out, all right, you're going to be able to track how many approaches you have to do to get into a door. All right, for me, it was always 50%. That means every single day, if I wanted to sit down with 5 people, I knew I was going to have to talk to 10 people. All right, like 10 legit people, not knocking on a door and nobody's at home, right? But 10 leads, 10 neighbors, right? 10 phone calls. I was going to have to approach at least 10 people because 5 of them were going to tell me to go kick rocks. All right, it's just the way that it was. But I knew that because my approach was the same. All right, it was a baseline that I could track. It was predictable. All right, it made this business so easy for me because I knew I just had to talk to 10 people. So when one would tell me no, it didn't bother me. When another one would tell me no, it didn't bother me at all because I knew I was one step closer towards hitting 10, which was going to give me 5 presentations on the day. So my question for you is your approach locked down? All right, if I had you come on the call right now, could you give me that script perfectly? Could I give you an objection and could you rebuttal it perfectly? If you can't, all right, throughout this week, get on a coaching call, all right, with one of your coaches and role play it so that you go into every day with the same approach, an approach that actually works, okay? Next up, your presentation. Presentation's just like the approach, guys. It has to be the same. It has to be predictable You can't just get into a house and just kind of wing it, right? If you're just out there just winging it, what do you got for coverage, whatever it is, if you're selling on your personality versus a predictable presentation that's outlined for you, your results are going to look like this, right? You're going to have great days, and then you're going to have horrible ones. You're going to have great weeks, then you're going to have horrible ones. But if your presentation is the same, all right, in every house, you get that flip chart or you have it on your binder or in your iPad, and you go slide by slide with each person, and you put the pressure on the presentation and not on yourself, you're going to have massive results with that. Okay. For me, it was another thing, 50% rule, right? If I sat down with 5 people, I was going to close 2 or 3 policies that day. 1 or 2 of them just wasn't ethical for me to switch, right? It wasn't ethical to sell it. Couldn't help the person. Maybe they were in bad health. All right. But if there was an angle, I was always closing it because I followed that presentation to a T. All right. So that's my next question for you guys running towards a 20K month. How's your presentation look? All right. Do you have that thing dialed in? If not, role play it, practice it. Right. Alicia used to do it to our dog, believe it or not. She used to legit sit in front of the dog and give the dog a presentation. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, but she was really good at it. She practiced that thing. All right. When she was new. So presentation, what does that look like? Guys, you have to put the pressure on the tools you're given and not on your own capability, right? Not on your own. So I could take anybody out there in any other job, give them our presentation folder and say, sit down and flip slide by slide and read it verbatim, and do that with 5 people today. You'll close 2 to 3 policies and probably have a 2K day, right? They don't even have to be an agent. I could just give them that booklet and tell them to go do it. And I know they would get that result. All right. It's just the way it works, guys. So consistency in the presentation is huge. But if you're just winging this thing, all right, you're all over the place. You're going over health stuff. All right. After you get the life insurance information, all this other stuff, right? If it's all over the place, your business and your results are going to be all over the place. All right. Third thing for you is lead flow. So important. Okay. There's a 2025, all right, lead PDF in Google Drive. Go to it, open it up. You guys are going to see all the options, right? There's so many good options for leads. I don't care which one you use, but what I do care about is that you get the same amount every week consistently for this entire year. Okay. If I had any of the top agents come on the call, all right, one that comes to my mind is Jody. All right, Jody's in the running for Rookie of the Year. She's also in the running for Agent of the Year. Why is that? One thing she always told me on every call we've ever done, right, is she gets the same amount of leads every single week from the same person, same vendor every single week, right? And I think she just works the age ones, but that consistency brings results, right? I think about Stephanie. All right, Stephanie, shout out to her. She's worked the same age leads, right, in her state of Delaware every single week and had tremendous results with it. All right. Joni, same thing with her. The 2 years that Joni won Agent of the Year back-to-back years, she had the same amount of leads coming in every single week, right? Every week, same amount of leads from the same vendor every single week. Guys, success leaves clues, and lead flow is so important. All right. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking if you want to have a 20K month, you got to have brand new, fresh leads. Not true. All right. It's going to help you, but you don't need that. Guys, all you need is enough leads to fit in enough presentations. So I know for me, if I've got brand new leads, probably 15 to 25 a week, all right, is going to get me to do 15 presentations in a week. All right. And if I can get that, I'm hitting 5K, probably hitting 7 or 10K. If I'm working age leads, I probably need 50. Okay. Because 10 to 20% of those are going to be bad data, old junk, right? Can't get anywhere with it. So I need 50. You need about double the age leads as the new ones to get the same result. So lead flow, what does that look like for you guys? The good news is whether or not you're prepared for this week, you can go on that lead vendor sheet, connect with one of them like right after this call and have plenty of leads to last you this week, heck, the whole month. All right. So lead flow has to be consistent every single week, guys. Even if you go out and you buy 50 age leads this week and you only get through half of them, next week, I need you to get 50 more so that you go into the next week with 75 of them. And same thing, right? It's a compounding effect for you. So lead flow. If you're an agent on the call and you feel like your production goes up and it goes down, or you feel like your income goes up or it goes down, I promise you it's because your lead purchasing is up and down. It's not consistent. If you make that consistent, everything else in this business will be consistent for you. Okay. So lead flow, so important in running towards a 20K month, guys. Have the right amount. All right. And check it out, guys. We're kind of spoiled, right? I remember being a new agent. If I wanted to get 30, 40, 50 leads, I was spending hundreds, if not close to $1,000 for that. With the way we have these digital leads, the internet leads set up, you could get 100 leads for $50. All right. It's so easy. All right. On us. We're spoiled now as agents. All right. We don't got to invest a lot of money to get a huge result back. So lead flow, don't let that be an excuse, guys. Every week, you should take the deposit that you get, subtract your lead flow, and put it back into leads, right? So if you go into this week, you spend $200 in leads. You sell apps this week, you get paid. The minute you get your first deposit, you take the $200 out and put it back into another lead order. And you just keep recycling the same $200 investment over and over and over again. You're never having to spend money on leads, guys, but one time. But you got to manage those deposits and manage how you do that. All right. So lead flow. Okay, guys. And lastly, let's talk about belief. Okay. A 20K month is no easy feat, but it's a very simple feat if you do the right steps for it, if you stay consistent. You have to believe, okay, that you are capable of hitting that 5K every single week, week in and week out. You got to believe that. All right. And how do you believe it? Okay. It's one thing to go out in the field and just kind of hope for results. But guys, I don't know about you. I believe things a lot more, okay, when I can actually see it. What do I mean by that? Preparation leads you into belief. Okay. How you prepare for your day, for your week, for your month increases your belief of hitting the goal that you set for yourself, right? If I say, hey, I want to have a 20K month, but I don't have any leads. I don't know if I'm working tomorrow or the next day or, what I'm doing this day or that day. And I'm just all over the place. Deep down, I'm really not going to believe that I can hit that. All right. But if I go into this week and I've got 50 leads, I'm working Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 5 p.m. in the field. I have a goal to do 3 presentations a day, close 1 or 2 a day, finish the week 8 to 10 apps, right? 15 to 20 presentations in a week. And I have a game plan to hit that. I believe I'm going to actually do it. All right. It's just like any goal. The more you prepare for it, the more you believe. Okay. The more you study it, the more you invest your time into it, the more you're going to believe. Right. So think about that, guys. As you go into this month, what's your belief look like? Okay. Do you believe it? All right. I believe that you're worthy of a 20K month. Right. I believe every agent on this call is worthy to wake up, look at their bank account, and not have to worry about, where's your rent payment for February. I believe every single agent on this call should be able to go out and buy them a new Ford Bronco like Ivy just did. So shout out to her. Congrats on the new car. But you should be able, with this career, guys, to never have to worry about anything financially ever. Because whatever your bank account shows, is a direct correlation to the amount of work ethic and effort you're putting into this business. So if this is low, this is low. If this is super high, I promise you this is super high. But your belief increases the more you do this. Okay, your confidence level will increase the more that you run towards this. Guys, and you're going to run towards 20K. Some of you are going to hit 30, 40K. You're going to run towards, maybe you're an agent who's only ever done 8K a month, and you're going to run really hard for 20. Maybe you finished the month at 18K, which is still your personal best month, right? And you can grow off of that. So what does your belief look like? Okay, guys, it goes back to this very verse of the day, right? Slide. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Don't put limits on yourself. All right. He's not putting a limit on you. Why do we limit ourselves in what we do? There's no cap. All right. That's the thing I love about this industry, about what we do. There's no cap as to what you can achieve for any of us, right? Like there's literally no ceiling to this opportunity. The only ceiling is the one that we put on ourselves. So let's go out there and have an amazing week. All right. Big shout out to Julie, Aaron, Doug, Savannah, Jody, and Jenna for all crushing last week. A ton of you guys crushed last week, but these guys found themselves at the top of the chart. So let's go out there and crush today and have a big week to kick off this year. And we will be back here on Wednesday. Appreciate you guys for jumping on today.